Don't let the Ricochet fool you. This thing can be powerful. It's mostly looked at as a tool to clear out mobs, tagging enemies, then bouncing bullets between them with increased power and a little lightning damage thrown in for good measure. But a lot of the power you get from using it will be through the interactions with the Arcana you've unlocked during a run. So I'll go over the prophecies because, like the Ricochet, they make a big difference for the damage output you'll see. I've included a lot of fire and thunder in this build, so the prophecies of air and fire should be slotted early on. For the prophecy of air, look for Conductor, which will transfer all status effects through lightning damage. Extra bolts and longer bolts, which do exactly what you think they do. And Thunderbolt for increased lightning damage. For the prophecy of fire, Accelerant gives plus damage to burning enemies. Chaos Flame that randomly deals double damage to burning enemies. And Critical Burn to turn all gun damage into critical hits on burning enemies. So I've included the Crown of Fire here so it can give the Ricochet the ability to ignite enemies, and thus boost its own damage output. Now we're compounding that with all the damage we're getting from the Arcanas, and all that combined kind of makes the Ricochet a little bit of a powerhouse. Not only that, but it also has this special ability to refill the magazine whenever you ignite enemies with it. So that goes well with stuff like Reload Dash and the larger magazine Arcanas. And can't forget to mention that it goes well with the Fire Breath. The Fire Breath has a special ability to deal more damage to enemies that are already ignited. And thus we're getting even more use out of our Fire Prophecy. All that combined will work to significantly increase the Ricochet's damage output on groups and on single target monsters. The Iron Cross works amazing here because it will group up enemies, giving the Ricochet easier targeting for marking enemies and ricocheting bullets between them. On top of that, now we're combining it with the Kirfane and the Ricochets Third Mysterium, getting more mileage out of the air elements Arcana, and dealing a crap ton of lightning damage. I'm also getting a ton of damage out of the prophecies of firearms and lightness. Anti-Element gives increased damage to status enemies, while Critical Chain and Reload Dash will keep the magazine full so you can keep firing and triggering the lightning damage from the Ricochets Third Mysterium. Prophecy of Lightness has a chance to give you extra light spell, which goes hand in hand with Full of Magic for increased gun damage. There are even more ways to boost the Ricochet's damage output through Arcanas, but what I've named makes the most difference, unless you've gotten your hands on the Prophecy of Deadeyes, which can give you the Deadeye Arcana for increased critical damage, in which case I suggest using it. And then we've got the rest of the build to power up the Ricochet. With the Kirfane equipped, more lightning bolts will be triggered to pair with the Ricochets Third Mysterium. The Kirfane here works well with the Ricochet because they can both deal lightning damage when you shoot enemies. So between the Kirfane special effect and the Ricochets Third Mysterium, we're putting a lot of damage on enemies out there in the field. Now combine that with the Iron Cross, and we've got the Trifecta of lightning damage. So with everything working together, the Ricochet will be dealing some good damage even against single target enemies, which isn't really what the Ricochet is known for. I've included the Rotweaver here because it happens to pair well with other aspects of the build. Its extremely high fire rate will trigger the Kirfane often, and with the Crown of Fire giving it the ability to ignite enemies, its base damage will be a bit higher than what the card reads. Not only that, but it actually does pretty good base damage. I know it says the damage is only like 6, which is pretty low, but it fires so fast, and it has that decay effect, so it boosts its overall damage output significantly. The Whisper here has become my favorite demonic weapon. I think in another video I said the Vulture was the best demonic weapon, but I'm changing my mind on that. The Whisper does pretty insane damage, 220. So as long as you're within like 5 feet of your enemy, you'll be getting that full base damage. And even if you're not, the shockwave it sends out is an AoE, so you can still stun large groups of enemies with it. And we can't forget that the Whisper works with our ring, giving it the burning element after a dash. Earth, air, and fire complement each other perfectly. With earth and air combined, we're getting more lightning bolts to trigger. Throw in fire to increase damage all around. Here's the rosaries, by the way. Ammo preservation combines with our other mentioned aspects of the build to keep the magazine full. Dash stamina because of the Crown of Fire, and demonic ammo because of the Whisper. The rest is up to you, but what I've got here works well. So there we have it. The Ricochet may not seem like much, aside from its cool special effect that will help clear out hordes. But the secret here is, as I went over in depth earlier, the secret lies in the combination of Arcana unlocked through the prophecies you've equipped, and a little help from your spells. That gives the Ricochet more utility out of clearing out trash mobs, and gives it more power than people give it credit for.